In time.
I'm Matty.
I'm Gina.
I call her Hina. It's okay if you call her Hina too. And this is our first episode out of a pretty fun fall series that we're going to be doing called What's Brewing, if you haven't noticed by the title. So we have our own little setup, and she made us, what did you make us today?
It's hot cocoa with mint from my garden and marshmallows.
I haven't tried it yet with
syrup.
mint. So, I ate leaves, but it's not bad. If I have a leaf hanging from my lip, don't call it out.
It's a magic potion. I just like it.
It is, and it's a magic potion. So cheers.
I like it.
I'm chewing a leaf. We decided to start off with telling a bit about ourselves, but asking each other questions that we came up with, and also talking about why we create magical moments in time, because it is ours. Like, no one else has magical moments in time. And I'm pretty sure you came up with the name, right? We were kind of always talking about...
A little bit. Like, we brainstormed, and we always talk about having something magical in it, because we love talking about just different things in the universe. And so I think for us, it was more, we started talking about it, we always kind of joked around, and then we were sitting there on the bed and watching YouTube, and we just decided, why not do this? What would this look like? And we just started putting it together.
We always talked about making a channel, and we never did it, and we were always like, oh, we should film, and then I would film videos, I never would edit, or it would never have a flow.
We haven't shared that we're mother and daughter. That was our other thing.
I'm the mother, she's the daughter, obviously.
We both are the kind of people that, even though we're 30 years apart, we literally find that magical moment in everything. You know, silver lining, that magical moment, no matter how bad, how good something can be.
Goofy moment.
Right, that's both our nature, and so I think that it has a lot to do with just our personalities and how we see life, and we hope that we can help you to find and see something magical in your day.
Whoever you're with.
Whoever you're with, whatever you're doing.
Alone.
With yourself. And just really embrace that, because that to me is what I think we both feel life is all about. And YouTube is a whole other world. And so I thought, okay, what's a great question to ask her that probably most YouTubers haven't asked, but I want to know. What sparked her interest in YouTube? She's not somebody who loves to be really, really social. She's not somebody who is like, oh yeah, I like to be an actress and everyone look at me and talk to me and watch me. And so personality-wise, I know she really fell in love with makeup tutorials and things like that, but what is it that really attracts this generation to it? Because honestly, even doing this with her, this is fun. I'll be more of the back end part, like the writing maybe and things, but I don't watch YouTube. So
that's the biggest difference between us.
It's so cool though.
She really hasn't watched YouTube like I watch it. You have someone who doesn't watch YouTube like a lot of us younger people do these days. YouTube is like a new it's a whole world on its own. So I think it's really cool that we're doing this together, and
that was again a big part
that
of it.
on you then. Like that overshadow of what it's
this whole thing's a mystery to me.
Yeah. I say the biggest thought that comes to mind when I say why I'm so excited to be posting to YouTube and uploading is because I feel like I'm sharing how happy I feel in these moments that we do have, whether it is over a holiday. Because I have videos shared, everyone has videos shared of times with their family or their friends or moments that they don't want to forget, right? And I feel like for YouTube, with posting and sharing, I'm sharing that positive energy and I'm sharing that excitement for other people to hopefully want to feel as well. And so that's kind of what my inspiration is always living in the moment, even though sometimes we say to live in the moment and we don't. You know, we are human, but I think for me, I feel like even going back to those videos I've created kind of reminds me and inspires me even more so to like My question for you is, what is your zodiac sign, or what is your rising, your moon, and because right now I feel like more than it ever has been is this time where everyone does. I think we were watching on Ancient Aliens. Everyone knows each other's zodiac, even if you're not really into it.
When I was younger, I just was very pulled towards it. I loved, maybe it's by nature, I love getting to know people, analyzing people, getting to know who you are on the outside as well as the inside. So I was very fortunate to actually be exposed to that and have my chart done when I was really young. And the person who did my chart, I absolutely adored him, and he was just, he just seemed so like my own Gandhi. Like, he was amazing. Like, many of you already know this, but my sun sign, you know, of course, is that time period in that month that you were born, and I was born in December, and along with most of my family. And so we have a lot of Sagittarians in our family. And so my sun sign is a Sagittarian, and I would read about it and be like, well, that is me, but it isn't me. You know, you're
What's
kind
missing?
of, God, there's something missing. But when I was younger, I found out that, you know, you have a rising and you have a moon. So a lot of people know about their moon because you want to know about your feelings. So your you know, moon sign is your inner. It's that inner part of you. So for me, I was an Aquarian. I'm an Aquarian. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Made my parents and my family crazy because I'm always looking for, I'm just, that is my humanitarian, that is my gypsy, that is just my traveler, along with the Sagittarius.
Yeah, wow, you're screwed.
But what's interesting is, and you also learn more about it as we go, but that is an air sign, and so compared to my fire sign, which is my Sagittarian, I have this air, this moon that can wreak havoc with my emotions. But then there's the rising. It's a sign. It's a part of you that really everybody else sees. And so that's the time you were born. So for me, when I look at my rising, I go, oh, and that's the Libra in me, and so that's the balance. Rising is a Libra, and then my Sagittarius, my sun sign, where I was born under, and then my moon is, of course, my Aquarian, which I learned to embrace and love all parts of them. They're each unique. So look yours up, and you can even like share with us what yours are. Now you don't have to go to someone who looks like Gandhi to get your chart done. You can just go online. There's all kinds out there. So I thought of this question because you're gonna really hear about this a lot. Again, with the magical component, we couldn't venture too far from Harry Potter. We all read them together and just went on the Harry Potter journey.
All of us, which was cool.
Yes,
no
all
one
of us.
disliked it.
And what was really wonderful about it was seeing, I think what was really neat is seeing the journey of what it did for our kids, and really they became readers, and to be able to think outside the box and imagine these amazing worlds. You're going to hear about Harry Potter probably a lot from us, so we thought we'd tap into that a little bit. And my question for her is, really, who is, like, you see Harry Potter, everybody probably asks this, but who truly is your favorite character? I kind of already know the answer, but I think it gives you a little bit of who is Matty by her choice.
Well, off the bat, I already know who my favorite character is, and it's not who most people will think about, like these characters, because of course there's the trio, there's the main characters in the front who you automatically, if you ask someone, oh, mine's Harry, Ron, Hermione, like who. But for me, big thing in our families was we analyzed the books and the film, and not analyzed by, oh, they don't match, or oh, that doesn't make sense. We analyze their lives, and we analyze why things happen and how they relate to the real world.
And the relationships is just,
I mean,
so
people
powerful.
watched them from when they were 11 years old. Like, that's a huge, 11 to 18 for these kids was huge, but also following the adults who had to go through the war before the kids were even born, and then also how they adapted, which goes to my favorite character is Sirius Black. For me, I always liked how he was mentioned here and there in the first one in a positive way. Oh, like Hagrid got his motorbike from Sirius Black, and at first you're kind of like, okay, who is this Sirius Black, right? Then you finally hear about who he is in the third one, the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I think the main part I loved was Harry and his relationship, was their builds up and how, even though in the end, actually, yeah, spoiler alert, if you haven't finished watching the series or the books,
put that on there.
Do not continue watching this or just skip, okay? Just skip like 5 minutes. But after Sirius Black dies, it's hard. That's one of the biggest changes for Harry's character was Sirius Black, because in his mind, that was his family member after what he learned about Sirius Black, and everything that Sirius went through was being betrayed by his best friend. At the same time, the exact same moment, his best friends die. He was put through going through Azkaban for all those years, but still was able to come back this big teddy bear and this person who absolutely wanted to protect Harry and still wanted to avenge his best friends and to avenge everyone that he lost in the war, and then still choose to fight even later in the years. So I think I admired him even leaving his family, because he automatically did not get along with his family, did not believe in what his family, believed in, and did not let that make him. He chose to take his fate in his own hands, really, and to say, no, that's not right, and that's not okay. And I feel like that's a huge thing that we as a people should be able to do, is to know when things are really wrong and to not be afraid to say, no, that's not okay, that's not right, So I think I just admired, I went a little rambling thing.
No, it's good. And I think that what I always hear when you talk about him is that commitment, that level of loyalty, but loyalty to what he knows is right. Loyalty to know, not loyalty because, oh, you're my family member or you're my best friend, but it's about what is the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. What is the right thing to do that's in line with your morality and your values. I think that tells you a little bit right there about Madison. That's pretty spot on.
Okay, so this one's kind of for both of us, and it's kind of an answer for you guys, is what is magical moments in time, which we kind of already talked about, and why we made it, which I think we also
talked about in the beginning.
Kind of talked about it, but kind of more of a clear version of what is magical moments in time, and what is it going to be, too.
We hope to share with you a lot of our passions and our interests. I can speak for Matty and say that you will learn a lot about her and her artistic background. She's an amazing artist, loves doing cosmetology, but has never been to school. She's watched YouTube. She has an amazing voice, a lot of artistic talent, and I think that you'll also see this other part of her that would love to go out there and become a cop or go into the military. And so we really want to share our passions and our love with you, to help you to see the magical moments in life from a different perspective. And at the core, our mother and daughter relationship. Really, hopefully we can encourage a lot of mother and daughters or father and sons out there to just create that bond. And it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes acceptance and not to be judgmental of one another. I love who Matty is as an individual, as a person, as my daughter. I don't want to change her or make her me. And so I think a lot of moms, and I do have actually, you hear about them, there's a family of 7 here, I do have more daughters, but each one's different and each one you connect to differently. And so I highly respect all of my kids and who they become, and each one has their own personal journey, and so that's what we want magical moments in time to be for you. So Madison's interest with tarot cards. So how are you going to, what and why do you utilize tarot cards and looking at, or do a tarot reading or just an oracle card?
Reading that I did in the beginning of a month, and then I even looked back on it and I thought, like, I could see the the similarities and the things that kind of did happen. It was just weird. So I kind of think of it as asking help and advice from the universe. Tarot is kind of like a very big positive outlet for me. And oracle cards. I have a cute oracle card deck that's just like a quote. And even like a daily quote is a really good positive feed for me, or inspiration. So that's what tarot and oracle cards are to me right now. 3 places that you wish to travel to one day or in the near future.
So hopefully you'll get to be a part of this. I just fulfilled one of them. We just went to Scotland. I've never been overseas before, so I've been almost to every state, I feel like, in the United States, which is amazing. And I've been to Mexico, but I've never been, out across the Atlantic, and that was pretty amazing. So I would say that was like, that's what I want to go back and do. I would say there's 2 more, well, 3, there's 3. And maybe you'll get to see them, you never know. The first one, which hopefully we'll be able to fulfill, and I don't know how. We thought we could, but maybe next year. Our game plan was to make it to Indonesia and to go to Thailand. So, of course, that is something that I want to do. I've always wanted to do since I was very young. And we'll see. I don't know. That's like my ultimate. She really wants to see elephants.
I really want to pet elephants.
I want to go just like a woman's retreat, yoga type of thing, meditation. Yoga. That would be amazing.
Seeing the big Buddha, like just the temples. Oh my gosh.
The second one would be you'll learn a lot about the fact that I'm Italian, and so a dream of mine is to go to Italy and especially see, you know, just the vineyards and just explore my heritage and my background. And I love the culture and the people, and it's something I want to do before, it's my bucket list, before I die. And then this one is, it's gonna be silly to a lot of you, but I really want to go to New Zealand and I want to go to Hobbiton. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I had a teacher in 6th grade, her name was Mrs. Reynolds, she was beautiful, and she walked by me one day and said, Gina, why don't you read this book? And never really said anything, just, I think you would love this. And she put it down in front of me, and it was The Hobbit. And I even shared with my kids my book report that I did for extra credit on it. And she's like, I really think that you would love this. That's all she said to me. Never discussed it with me or anything, and just put it down. And I read it when I was in, it was 6th grade. And fell in love with the whole entire story. So you can imagine, right away I mapped out the whole journey and made my own maps. So, and I still have
it was already meant to be.
And I still have the report. It's so cute.
She would never know that. She would find someone who, marry someone who not only loves it, but then also have kids who absolutely love it.
We'll share some of our little things we have around the house that we've given each other for Christmas and things, and they're very Lord of the Rings.
I don't think there's ever, like, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Star Trek, like, there's, like, it's always rather in a holiday or a birthday with us. Our last fun question that we have for each other is, she came up with it, was just like a little silly one, was what is your 25th account that you're following? So not who's following us, but like that we're following. And
we both love Instagram.
Okay, I gotta like count them. Okay.
Just count them.
I'm on 10. Oh, my 25th one was Malachi. Malachi from middle school, which is funny.
Oh, that's funny.
It's gonna be a shout out. You're my 25th person that I follow.
I was his principal.
So if you're watching this, one of my closest friends, Malachi, I will shout out to you if you're watching this. Person.
I have to look. Allegra Rose B. She's an artist. And I follow her because she focuses on places that she goes, poetry, and the planet. And I love her, all her pictures. It's beautiful, really beautiful. She's gone to some really cool places. So we'll like hashtag her on that one too.
Yeah, well, shout out to both of you guys who are 25th followers. But that was pretty much it for our first episode of What's Brewing.
How fun.
I know, I'm so excited to do. I want to start doing the rest of the episodes, but
next time we'll do coffee.
yeah, we don't have coffee. Well, we
We're
have
out of
coffee, but
creamer.
we're out of creamer, which is a priority.
So we improvised.
We improvised
with
with.
mint because it might have green.
Mine's
stuff
almost
in
done.
there,
I
too.
just didn't eat my marshmallow. We had Pop-Tarts, if anyone wants to know what I was eating.
So healthy.
If you guys want to answer any of the questions that we asked each other, let us know in the comments down below what your answers are to some of these questions.
Or if you have questions for us that you would like us to ask each other next time.
Maybe in the next video to come. Yeah, it's starting off with the first day of YouTuber. I'm excited for what you guys get to see next. We have so much fun stuff to show you guys, even not just for YouTuber, but in the future. We have so many ideas. So stay tuned, and we hope you guys have a magical day.
Yes.
I did just do that.
I feel like we're, what was that show? Morning with, I don't know, the talk shows. I feel like a talk show.
Have a magical
Have a
day.
magical day.